Ladies and gentlemen, the following program can only be described as unbelievable, incredible, out of sight, crazy, insane.
Well, funny enough, I met him for the very first time out in the North Sea aboard a ship called Radio London, Big L, as it was known. And he did a terrific show in the evenings with Dave Cash called the Kenny and Cash programs. Being a pirate disc jockey in 1964, it was tremendous, you know, it was a great adventure. The strange thing about the Radio London ship was that we were all given girls' names. Kenny, not many people will know, was known as Edith Everett. I was known as Bessie Blackburn. And you weren't really accepted unless you were given a girl's name.
He was, you know, the must-listen, really. He sort of was groundbreaking and had all the best new music on, and of course was very, very funny. And it was really then on the on pirate radio that he introduced his sort of first cast of characters.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, what is it?
Policeman Billy.
I know, yeah.
Just wants to know.
He was very inventive. He would spend more time in the studio putting his show together than anybody else because his show in those days was a combination of bits and pieces. It wasn't just a straightforward DJ show.
I entered trembling footsteps.
What a place.
Kenny was eventually fired from Radio London for trailing the sponsor's religious programme with considerably less reverence than they thought their money deserved. In fact, being sacked on radio became something of a tradition in Kenny's career. When the Pirates sank, he switched to the brand new wonderful Radio 1 and was soon sacked again, twice.
I don't think Kenny really enjoyed controversy too much. It was just that sometimes he naively would say something to the press, as we all did. I mean, I always was getting into trouble. And in those days, the BBC wasn't as forgiving as they are now. I mean, nowadays you can seem to do anything and get away with it. But in those days, no, you couldn't.
In the matter of the old mouth out speeding the brain, it has got you into a lot of trouble over the years. It got you the sack. Do you remember from the BBC?
Yes, that was great, though. It was fun. Because I'd just come from the Pirates, and the BBC was all stiff and how dare you be so young. And we said a few naughty things about Radio 1, like what a terrible station it was. And they said, if you say another thing, you're out, damn you, or whoever you are. So the next day the papers came along and I said, oh, it's terrible. So they fired me, of course.
And of course...
I'd have done the same if I was old and wrinkly and hideous and dreadful.
Well, you are. You are.
He got sacked a lot, but it was never a gimmick. It was never, you know, for free publicity or because he wanted controversy, because he got extremely depressed when he was sacked and he would sit in his house and he hated not being in a studio.
This is where I come alive. I'm a drag outside the building, but in here, hello is my oyster. Today the BBC, tomorrow ITV if they love me. Video, as you know, is Latin for I see, and that's what this show is all about. We're going to bring you tons of stuff that you can see. Radio will be a thing of the past.
The genesis of this show is rather strange and gives a bit of an insight into how TV can work. Philip Jones, the head of Lights Entertainment, asked his young son, who would you like to see on TV? And his son said Kenny Everett.
Peace, love, bells, beads. I'm Lord Thames's son. And one day this is all gonna be mine. And when it is, I'm not gonna let you watch it.
The format for the Everett show really came from me driving up to the Cotswolds, having lunch with Kenny, going for a walk in the afternoon. During those 3 or 4 hours, we both discovered that you could not watch on television the sort of things that we wanted to watch.
The original conception was he would be a visual DJ, linking bands and singers. And what happened was, the links got longer and longer, and we started turning it into a comedy show.
What are you doing there, Mick?
I'm doing this crossword, and I'm stuck. Look here at this clue.
Clue?
Clue. 5 letters to egg on.
That's a hard one. Let me see now. Tag on! Toast.
Oh, thanks.
Tune in next time, friends.
The shows are basically written by me and Ray Cameron. Kenny trusted us. Once you'd written the script and handed it over to him, something started happening. He's very creative like that.
Now it's time for a bit of liquid refreshment. Why not join me in a cup of tea?
No sugar! Oh, yes, stinge away. That's not funny at all!
Myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll.
Thanks, Cliff. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move right along in the show.
I haven't finished, Ken.
Yes, you have. Oh, let me touch you.
Whereabouts? So I'm supposed to actually look as if I didn't know that was actually going to happen, you know. Because, I'm supposed to look, you know. And, this one.
Screw the game, hit him with the guns!
Got myself a crying.
Off.
Carruthers, what's it like having been a men's room attendant for 50 years?
You taking the Jimmy?
No, what makes you say that?
Well, you come down here dressed like that and holding that chain and speaking in that terrible accent. What, are you Italian or something? Well, it's a clientele, isn't it? You get your daughters keeping in the stalls all night. You get your junkies coming down here shooting and sniffing and popping. You got our end.
To my knowledge, the Everett show was the first show that used its own cock-ups as part of its entertainment value.
What's it like having been a men's room attendant for 50 years?
I miss him.
Good night and God bless you and thanks for watching.
Kenny Everett died far too early in 1995. He was an impulsive and instinctive comic genius. His was a kind of rock and roll comedy in the days when performers were bravely allowed the latitude to be experimental. That's all part of the legacy of laughter that still is the Kenny Everett video show.
We had lots of fun doing it, and we only hope that you had as much fun